I'm kind of glad 2016 is over, to be honest, purely because now I don't have to put up with all the like, oh, 26 years a bad year, Lamau meme, which, like all memes, got tired after like the first week of it. In terms of world events and celebrity deaths, it was a bit of a mental year, I'll admit that, but that's not what this video is about. As you've almost definitely already read from the title, this will be my top 8 games that came out in the past year. Why 8 and not 10? Because I want to do 8. Is that alright? What is this script, man? Now, before we start, this is my personal list of games that I enjoyed. This list does not necessarily mean that this game is fundamentally better than that game or whatever, so chill, mate. It's just like what I enjoyed, you know?
Number 8.
Now I know everyone loves Doom and thinks it's like one of the best games ever, and don't get me wrong, it's top bants to run around like blowing up demons and blasting them with your shotgun or whatever the fuck, but I've put it at the top at like number 8 for a few reasons. First being that I really do not enjoy the multiplayer, the online part of the game. I really don't like that at all. I think a lot of people actually agree with me on that, like based on reviews and what people have been saying online and stuff, it seems that a lot of people don't really like the multiplayer of it, like it's not that good. And another reason being Bethesda's weird behaviour around the launch of it. Like usually I try not to inject stuff like that into how I feel about the game or like a movie or something like that. I try to think critically of the game and what I think about that game or movie, purely from the standpoint of that game or piece of media itself and what I think about it. But I hate it when developers like enact review embargoes and shit. It's so weird because it's not even a bad game. Like the single player isn't even bad, it's actually quite good. The reason Bethesda chose to not send out early review copies is a really odd and weird reason. It's such fucking bullshit that for me personally it just somewhat sullies the overall enjoyment of their product. I know I say that I try not to inject that kind of stuff into the review, but for this one it was just so weird that it for me personally made me feel a bit weird playing it. I mean, not too much to completely ruin my enjoyment of it. I'd still definitely recommend this game for anybody who enjoys FPSs to any extent. Don't get me wrong, but just personally for me, I feel like it's not the best game that came out this year.
Number 7.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Whoa. Hold on. Hear me out, please. I guess that I enjoy the online of Infinite Warfare more than the single player of Doom. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that COD is fundamentally better than the Doom campaign, but personally, just for me, I enjoyed it more. Right, now we've got that out of the way, let me give you just some of the reasons why. I won't lie, I enjoy a bit of COD now and again. It's one of those games that I can just whack on and tune out to. And I'm not a member of the club that thinks that boots on the ground COD is just intrinsically better than Advanced Movement. Although Advanced Warfare Boost Jump sucks, probably the worst COD ever if you ask me. The campaign, as always, isn't great. Like, COD campaigns aren't that good. This one's not as bad as the others. It's still like at the end of the day, go into room, shoot enemies in room, go into next room, shoot the enemies in that room, move on to that room. Now there's a cutscene. Like that's all COD. Did you fucking hear that car horn out? So fucking like as soon as I start recording. It's still, at the end of the day, it's still like go into room, shoot enemies in this room, go into the next room, shoot the enemies in that room. But there's a few things that inject some more fun in life into this one. Like there's like levels where you fly around in a spaceship and like shoot things, and there's little things like that. It's quite cool and it makes it a bit more fun, you know. The zombies in Infinite Warfare is decent. The zombies is always good, really. A lot of fun to be had there. And the multiplayer is good too. It is. Like it is end of the day, it's good online. Okay, you have your problems with COD, you know, whatever, we'll get into that, but it's not bad. It's not bad. The guns are relatively decently balanced. There's Destiny supers, the combat rigs are fun. It's quite satisfying for me just to get like a few kills with the ball charge. That's my favourite. Like, you just put out the shield and just go just like get like a decent like couple of few kills. That's fucking really fun to do. Now I appreciate that people aren't happy that in order to buy COD 4 Remaster you need to buy Infinite Warfare with it. That's definitely worse than what Bethesda did. That it definitely is. I completely get that, and I agree with it. That it is really shitty practice, and COD 4 Remastered should definitely be available for standalone purchase. It's a really, really shitty practice, completely understand that. But that doesn't make the game Infinite Warfare bad by proxy. Like, if you actually were to review Infinite Warfare as a thing, completely standalone from COD 4 Remastered, that wouldn't make that game actually worse.
Number 6.
I don't know how many of you will know about Stardew Valley. It's obviously not as popular as the previous two titles that I mentioned, but I think it does deserve a place in everyone's Steam library, or as of December, your Xbox One or PS4 library too. It's really simple. The story on the game is super simple. It's just you leave your shitty office job in the city and you start working on a farm in some town in buttfuck nowhere, and that's pretty much it. The simplistic gameplay and goal of just improving your farm slowly, as well as the really relaxing music and cute as shit art style, is very reminiscent of games like Minecraft, where you can just relax and enjoy yourself. I'll leave a link in the description down below to my mate TJ's review of Stardew Valley, so if you want you can get like a better idea if this game's for you, but it's such a nice and chill game that I had to include it.
Value for money there!
Number 5.
You ever wanted to play like a Pokemon fighting game? Not Pokemon, but like an actual Pokemon fighting game, but like Tekken or Mortal Kombat, you know, but like with Pokemon? Obviously the answer is yes. Literally everyone wanted that. Well, it exists. It exists. It exists. That was... I can't say the word exists. There we go. Not much more to say, to be honest. Pokken's like every good fighting game. It's easy to get into with a high skill ceiling, runs at a buttery, beautiful 60 FPS, and seeing your Pokemon fight in 3D real time on your TV is great, even if some of the roster is questionable. Chandelure? Gardevoir? Where's some actual fighting types? Like Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. Primeape would be pretty cool too. Regardless, it's still a really great game, and although I dislike the Wii U as a console, it still has some fucking top games, and this is one of them.
Number 4.
Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens is surprisingly really fucking good. I absolutely loved the first couple of Lego Star Wars games, and I was genuinely actually really looking forward to this one, as sad as it sounds, as a 22-year-old man. Fuck. When it comes down to it, it's a Lego game, so don't expect anything groundbreaking or whatever, but everything's there that made the original Lego Star Wars game so much fun. Great parodies on the films and physical humour, whilst expanding on the surrounding lore of The Force Awakens to answer some of the questions left after the film. Make this one of the best and most fun games of 2016. Like, there's a level where you play as Poe after the TIE fighter crashes back onto Jakku, and like how he actually got back to the Resistance. And there's another level of like Han Solo and his team getting the Ranthors? Racnors? I can't remember the name, I'm sorry, God, I'm not a real Star Wars fan. Only thing that I really dislike about this game is that the characters talk. I know that sounds stupid, but bear with me, they didn't talk in the older games, like the older Lego games, the older Lego Star Wars games. You go back to like PS2 era, the characters in the Lego games don't talk. Their emotion and the acting of the film that they're playing as, like, they were expressed through their movements and body language, which added a lot of charm. I really liked it about it, but it's the actual voice actors from the film, like they come back and reprise some of their roles as that Han Solo level I was talking about, where he gets the monsters. I'm just going to say monsters now because I don't remember their name. He gets the monsters. That's actually Han Solo back in the studio. All the other lines sound like they're just ripped from the film, which is odd because it doesn't sound right. But some of them are actually real. You can tell they're actually voice acted. The actual voice actors are in the studio, which is really nice.
Number 3.
In at 3 is Battlefield 1. The hype leading up to this game was ridiculous. Everyone just assumed it would be best game of the year as soon as it was announced, which, I mean, I guess for most people it actually was. It did live up to the hype. It did definitely live up to the hype. It's obviously really good. The World War One setting is, of course, very refreshing at a time where all shooters nowadays are futuristic with mechs and all that. Graphically, EA DICE has done a stellar job, obviously, as always, being able to do things like destroy buildings, and even seeing individual raindrops land on your gun is the attention to detail that a lot of other games will just miss. Also, it's so satisfying to bayonet charge people and like hear your character scream and sprint forward. They did an interesting job with the story too, like split up into like little mini campaigns. You play as different characters and self-contained stories within actual battles in World War One, which allows DICE to tell the story of the war from a different perspective than just a boring old history lesson.
Number 2.
I don't know what I can say about Overwatch that hasn't been said 1,000 times already. One of the things I value most about gaming now is if I can enjoy playing it for long periods of times with my friends. Overwatch definitely does allow that. Each character is so unique and well crafted, it's incredible. I think the only problem that I have with it is that there needs to be more content, which, to be honest, is why it isn't my number one. That's the only reason it isn't my number one for 2016. I think it could be better than the next game if it had more content, like different game modes and stuff, that makes me personally getting bored of a session of playing it. It's all well and good having like holiday specials like Christmas and Halloween with new skins and all that. They're great, I'm not taking away from that, but since the game came out, they've only added 2 new characters and a few maps, and the community is so starved for content that when one is teased for months, they go mad. I do have faith, though, that in 2017, Blizzard will do more than what they've done already with Overwatch, and hope. It's still a great game, and I love it.
Number 1.
Finally, they made some changes to the Pokemon story formula. I used to love Pokemon, but I have to admit that they do fall into some of the same criticism points that other annual games fall into, like, you know, your CODs and your Assassin's Creeds, in that they barely change anything. Like, sure, they make it look nicer, they might add in some more Pokemon every now and again, maybe a new type every decade, but it's always the same thing. You're a kid, you leave your home, that is your single mum, you choose a starter, you battle the HMs, then the Elite Four. Along the way, there's a rival whose starter is effective against yours, and also there's a group of criminals who are bent on getting a legendary Pokemon to take over the world or whatever the fuck, that you have to dismantle by telling your creature to pummel their creatures into submission. Pokemon Sun and Moon makes some well-needed changes to the formula. There aren't gyms anymore, they're trials, where you're put into an area and you have to complete specific tasks to progress through the game and onto the next area or island, which has like drastically different Pokemon than the last. They added some new Pokemon too, as always, but it's the new forms of Pokemon that I like. This are the Alolan forms that I find so interesting, because this part of the world is so different in its climate that you'll see Pokemon that recognise they have adapted and evolved, in the Darwinian sense evolved, to live in this hot climate. There'll be different types than what you're used to, which is awesome and a really good idea, and I think it's implemented really well. I haven't finished Pokemon Sun yet, and I'm taking my time in getting through it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very good. So yeah, those were the games that I enjoyed playing in 2016. 2017 looks great too. I'm so excited for some of the new upcoming titles like For Honor, the new Mass Effect, South Park, Zelda, Yooka-Laylee, Dawn of War 3, hopefully news on Cyberpunk 2077. Man, this year's going to be awesome, I can't wait. I just want to say thank you to the people who have stuck by me for this first year on YouTube as well. I've really enjoyed my time here making videos and, you know, reading comments and all of that kind of stuff. I hope to make better videos in 2017. It's going to be great. I've got a few ideas coming up and I can't wait to get them done. Thank you again. Smash that motherfucking like button. Follow me on fucking Twitter. Subscribe for more Minecraft Let's Plays.